Okay, so this shouldn't wobble as badly as usual because I have figured out a new way to set up my tripod, which is actually better than the previous way. Before I had it like clipped on here, but now I have this like trolley next to my desk. I don't know why I didn't think of doing this sooner, but I've attached my tripod to the trolley next to me, so I think like I can move pretty freely now and not have to worry about the wobble, which is pretty good. I have already filmed this video once before. I filmed it upstairs a couple of days ago because I'm quite late filming this usually. I'm a bit more on it, but I had a busy weekend last weekend and it's kind of just thrown me for a bit of a loop. But that's beside the point. I filmed it and it was like 7 o'clock, and that's when it starts to get, like the sun starts to go down. So the lighting was just all over the shop and it was getting darker, and I was watching through. I didn't like the way it looked because it was just like on my, it was just on my floor in my bedroom. So it just looked kind of boring. Not that this is very exciting, but at least like it looks brighter because the window is like right here. So yeah, I just thought I'd refilm it while I've got the time because it's currently, I don't actually know what time it is because my phone is up there. I just want to make sure I'm filming. The other thing is that I'm filming with my partner in the room next door to me, so if you can hear me, that's mega embarrassing. If you can hear him, he's just playing Baldur's Gate 3, so don't mind him. But yeah. Oh, one other thing before we get started, I just got a new tattoo. It is a pair of embroidery scissors because I do a lot of cross stitch. It's one of my favourite hobbies. I used to have a pair of these bird embroidery scissors when I was younger, and I just thought the artist did a really good job of the design, and it like fits really perfectly next to my other tattoos, so I'm super happy with that. And I like that it's really prominent when I have my arms out, so hopefully you get a good look at my new tattoo. Okay, so this week's video, I'm going to be doing an update on my planning and journaling system and talking to you about some of my ideas going forward. It's been a really good few weeks in my planner. I don't think I've done a proper update for about 2 weeks now, probably over, because my last video was like a weekly vlog, which I really enjoyed filming. It was nice to kind of get out of the structure of just doing a sit down video. So I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed doing it. So I haven't done an update in a while, and I'm quite excited to show you what I've been up to and talk about some of my thoughts and feelings about this system. So firstly, as a reminder, I have a 2-book system. I have this book for planning, and I have this book for commonplacing and journaling and just like brain dumping. I was originally doing that in the back of this book, but I filled it up pretty quickly, and so I moved on to this book. In terms of the books themselves, this is a book by Jumble & Co. It is a weekly diary, and it's undated, which I thought was quite important because while I've done planning and used a lot of planners in my time, this is my first time kind of approaching it as a way to kind of solve some of the problems I was having. And because this is my first kind of proper sit-down attempt and a way of figuring it out, I'm wanting to make sure it was undated because I knew that things could change. I knew that I probably would end up moving out of this, although I want to kind of stick to it as much as possible. But it is a big like thing to note that you should think about what your system is and how you can make something work for you rather than forcing yourself into working in a certain way, because it never, for me anyway, that never goes well. So this book is from Jumble & Co, and this book is just a notebook from Tiger, and they both have dotted pages in. I'll start by going through this book first. I think you would have already seen the collage bits and bobs that I've done. Yeah, I definitely talked through this. I will just do a recap. I started this book on the 2nd week of July, and I started just by putting in a bit of a mixture. There wasn't much of a system because I was very much of the mindset that I would figure it out as I went along, and that has definitely happened. So I just started with putting kind of like everything in the weekly side, and then I used this side as a way to kind of like journal, and any overflow would go into the back of the book, which I did quite enjoy, to be fair, but obviously like there wasn't enough pages in the very back to kind of commit to that long term, because I filled it up like within a week, I think. So yeah, that's how this started out. The second week in, not much change, I don't think. I was using kind of this side with the weekly spread to add like little sentences about my day, which I quite like doing. I've now got into a good rhythm of kind of journaling daily, which, I mean, it's not a true daily journal. Like, I do backtrack sometimes. I'll talk about like a whole weekend in one sitting, but I'm talking about my day as a whole at some point in my notebook, whereas before it wasn't like a full routine, and I don't think it always will be a full routine, but that's what I'm currently enjoying doing. This next week is where I kind of was thinking, okay, I need to actually use this as a space to kind of think and go through my to-do list, because I think I mentioned earlier in the channel that at the start of summer I had a bit of like a brain fog and the adjustment, I'm a teacher for context, and the adjustment from working to not working was really like severe this year. So it took until this week for me to kind of be like, oh my god, I have things to do and I feel like I can do them now. I started a weekly to-do list with the intention that anything that wasn't finished I'd move into the next week. That's been working really well for me. I was also just ticking off like little daily to-do lists on the side, but because it's summer I don't have tons to do in a day. This was last week, I believe. Yeah, last week. This is where I started to think a bit more about how to utilise this page, because at this point I was solidly into my new supplementary book, so I didn't feel like this was enough space to do some journaling, because I journal for like several pages now, and I felt very limited by this. So I knew by this week, which was the week of the 29th, I had to kind of change up how I was using this side of the page. And for me, that was adding a habit tracker. I'll be honest, it kind of started as a way to fill space, but I have been quite enjoying using it. I've been tracking hobbies, reading, calorie deficit, obviously that won't be for everybody, moving my body, chores, journaling, socialising. This will definitely change as the weeks go forward, because I go back to work next week, and some of these will not become a priority. Like, for example, socialising. Like, I won't be socialising, you know, several days in the week. It'll probably just be over a weekend and stuff like that. So I don't know how long I'll keep up with the habit tracker. I've kind of done them on and off over the years and to varying degrees of success, but this is going well, I suppose. And as you can see, kind of like the content in the weekly pages kind of drops down a bit, but this was generally quite a out of the house doing things week, because this is when I went away for the weekend. And then we get into this week. So this week I decided to kind of approach it a little bit differently, and I've implemented the key that is used in bullet journals. I won't go into depth about it because there's so many videos about how to set up a bullet journal. While I have moved away from using bullet journals myself, I do like the key that's implemented and the idea of kind of crossing off a task or migrating it into the next day, because I was finding that I was erasing a lot of stuff and then rewriting it into the next day, because I do use erasable pens. However, it's just one of those. I think I prefer to kind of see where I've given up on things and where I've had to move them about. So for example, this YouTube video has been pushed back and back and back, and I haven't even intended to do it today. I just thought, oh, I've got a spare couple of hours, I'll edit the video, went to edit it and it was a mess. So I've gone to refilm it. So, you know, I can kind of see how tasks migrate and be a bit more strict about when I set them and when I know that I have to do it and when I've got the time to do it. That made no sense. The weekly to-do list has been staying, and I also included a little to-buy list this week as well, just because I was sat here and I was thinking, oh my god, I have to buy these things. So I squeezed it on. I like this, it's fine. I don't think I know this won't maintain when I go to work, because I don't have enough use for this book. I could be doing this on my Google Calendar, I could be doing this in my phone notes, which is what I was doing previously. I just know that as soon as I go back to work and as soon as it picks up, I would abandon this system. So it's fine for now, but literally, you know, next Wednesday is when I go back to work, so I don't really know what I'm going to do. Well, I lie. I do know what I'm going to do because I've kind of been thinking about this for a while now. But I will get onto that in a little bit. I'll instead, firstly, show you my other book. But as a recap as well, this was the back. So this was full of commonplacing and journaling and just random notes, but I filled that up really quickly. So once I filled that up, I moved into this book, which I did set up, well, very briefly set up with you a couple of weeks ago. So this is just a notebook from Tiger, like I've said before. So yeah, this is a book from Flying Tiger. It's just like a dotted notebook. I was using it for something before. Oh, I used it as a reading journal before, but promptly ripped it all up when I knew I was approaching like a new planning system instead. I don't have much of attachment to this book, I'm not gonna lie. However, this book I've grown massively attached to. I love this journal. I will like definitely be reading back through this in the future because I really enjoy the way I've been using it. So I'm just going to do a really quick flip through. There are a couple of pages that I do want to skim over very quickly because, you know, it's personal stuff. But I start out using it as a journal in a commonplace space. This is when I got my new fountain pen, so I literally wrote so much about the actual fountain pen. Some more commonplacing, but with song lyrics. Then I've got some notes about my NED, my masters. I got given some readings for masters to do over the summer, so I started one of them, and there's a lot of this, but I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed working this book and using my fountain pen. I found that the fountain pen means I can write for a lot longer and a lot quicker, so I think that's why I've been using this book so much. It also lies nicely, like it's quite flat. So generally this is like a really good notebook. I would definitely purchase another one similar to this from Flying Tiger in the future. I do think their stationery can be quite hit and miss. Just more notes, tons and tons and tons. And then back into journaling because I took a pause from this for a little while because I went away for a weekend. More journaling, more lyrics to commonplace. I think this is where it gets a little bit personal. Yeah, so these next few pages I'm not going to show, but it is just journaling. And then I've got more journaling. I like to cut out my quite cross stitch patterns when I finish with them, and I've been buying loads recently, which is really bad, but I do use them all and I really enjoy doing it. Loads more journaling. Sticking things in, using it to do packing lists and just enjoying it. More sticking in. This was like a junk journal spread from when I went to Lincoln. I really enjoyed doing this. It was like a way to kind of de-stress when I got home. And then loads of journaling. As you can see, my margins got bigger because I lost my little ruler. I've not a clue where it's gone. The bigger margin has been quite useful because I've been able to write in it more. More journaling. As you can see, I've been journaling a lot. And then I did some more commonplacing. I went to Lincoln and I learnt about the Lincoln Imp. I love learning about folklore stuff, so I did a little research into that. And then I did some research into an area in Manchester that my dad told me about that was like a really big slum during the Industrial Revolution. And the Industrial Revolution is like a really big special interest of mine. So I really enjoyed doing some research into that. I did quite a lot of research into it. Some planning for this video, and then this was this week I picked back up the reading from earlier. I was doing some tables, really squeezing the text. I really like this spread. And then some more journaling. Was that just last night? I can't remember. I don't know what day it is, to be honest. No, that was a couple of days ago. And then I have written a page out here which is really naughty, but it all went a bit wrong and I started doing my next reading from my masters, which is all about learning theories. And I really enjoyed doing this because it's quite bite-sized stuff, but it's a big book, so I think I'll dip back into that as and when. I've been enjoying that, and I did some journaling as well last night. And then that's me caught up really, so I've done quite a lot. We're up to there, so it's under halfway, but because of the bulk it looks like it's a lot more. And I've been enjoying this book so much. I've become incredibly attached to it. It's like become a really big part of my routine. I really enjoy it, and I will definitely be keeping this book no matter what happens. I mean, I'll be keeping this one as well. But something that I want to talk through is kind of my plans and my ideas going forwards, which I have here. So a couple of videos back, I spoke about how I'd possibly wanted to get a traveller's company notebook with a few different inserts. I was planning on getting the weekly, a monthly, oh no, what was that? A weekly? I can't actually remember what I was going to get, but I wanted to get a few different inserts basically. And I thought that would be the best method because then I could have my weekly planning and then daily planning, I think was the plan. I can't remember. No, it was monthly, weekly, and then a blank gridded notebook, which I would use for like general journaling notes and stuff, the way I use this book basically. I've since decided that that wouldn't be a good idea. I would love to try a traveller's company notebook at some point in the future. I think they're beautiful notebooks, and I would really love to have one, but I don't think it would be a good planning system. I think it would be a better journaling system, and I like the mixture of having journaling and commonplace in and like readings, and I like the mixture of stuff because it really takes away the pressure of having multiple notebooks, which is what I would have done previously. I would have had a separate book for my masters, a separate book for this, and everything would have been spread out, whereas like I could just carry that and be content. But I'm not in love with this. This isn't working. I don't like that things are separate. I would like to have the weekly within, you know, a space to kind of journal. And I was doing some research and I looked further into the Hobonichi systems. I've always kind of thought they weren't for me because I'm not a daily journaler, which I've since realised isn't the case. I am a daily journaler, just in different ways. Like I might do some commonplace on Monday, I might do some planning for YouTube the next day, I might do all three, you know, I might do journaling, commonplace and planning all in the space of one page. And I like the flexibility of that. So I have ordered the Hobonichi Cousin Avec, which is the half-year planner. I didn't realise that they had a monthly, weekly and daily spread pages. I thought for some reason it was just monthly and daily. I didn't realise there was a week in it because so many people have the weeks and then have the cousin separately, that I didn't realise that it had a weekly spread in it. So I'm going to, well, it's just been dispatched. It's not going to be here until next week, which is really annoying. But I think I will backdate some stuff in it. I don't know how intense it'll be because I will start work as soon as it arrives, but I will definitely have some content where I'm backdating some stuff because I have plenty of stuff that I can backdate it with. The good thing is that I have been really consistent with planning and journaling for the month of July, and I'd be happy to backdate it because it would make it a complete book. However, I might leave it for a little while. I might just go into August and use it from like the point it comes, but I can backdate if need be, which is really positive. So there will be some content about that. I am very aware that I have said previously that I want to be like very careful with purchases that I make, and this video kind of goes against a lot of that, but it's become like abundantly clear that this won't be a system that I can maintain going forward because there's too much going on. I can't carry like both of these to work, but I couldn't carry just this to work because there's not enough space to kind of get my thoughts and feelings down, whereas this book I feel like I can, but there isn't a planning space for it. So like if I had someone ask me what you do next week, there's no months page where I can kind of jump back and be like, oh yes, I'm doing that next week, just like there isn't a months page in this. So either way, this is not the perfect system. It's been lovely over the summer when I've not had a lot going on, but I've had to rely on the Magoo calendar a lot. I would like to have a month's area and a week's area that I can really flick back and forth to. I don't know how I'm going to use my Avec. I won't know until I've got it in front of me and I can really look at it. I've got a few ideas, but until I've got it and I've thought about it properly, I won't be able to tell you. I just know that I could make that work a lot better and a lot easier, and I could just slip that into my bag and go to work with that and be content with that. I also ordered a cover. I will open this properly when the actual event comes and I will film all that, like, do not fear. But yeah, I've also ordered a cover. So I do feel guilty because a big part of this channel was kind of like using what I have and making do. But also I have to be realistic about the sort of job and the lifestyle that I have away from summer, which is very busy. I'm going to have my masters, my work, and then other hobbies alongside that. So I need a system that works for me, and I think the cousin is what's going to be the best. So I'm going to try that out, see what it's like, and if I like it, then I might get the full year. I don't know, I quite like the idea of it being split in two, to be fair, because you kind of get that joy of a new planner halfway through the year. So I do feel disappointed that I will have to move on from these, but I'm definitely going to be keeping this at my desk because I think this is a good desk book. And I think I could maybe use this for a media tracker, I don't know, but it will go on the back burner for now. But with it being undated, just like, that's fine. I might come back to it this time next year and use it as a summer planner, who knows, but it'll be around. And then this one I will definitely keep using to some extent because I love this book. I've become really attached to it and I enjoy using it. I might just use it for my master stuff, I don't know, we'll see. I will only be able to tell you once it actually arrives. The other update, which again goes completely against everything I've said previously about not buying things for the sake of it, I bought something for the sake of it. I am my own worst enemy, but I have justification for this. I have justification for the EVEC as well because I had to buy it now. I had to get it when I did, or else I'd be stuck like with a janky system until the new ones come out, and I go off like September, well, August to August calendar. I don't go from a January to December. Like I go off the academic year, so I kind of had that split decision where it's like I can order it now and be content in that, or I can wait and be stressed because it does stress me out if I don't have like things sorted. However, this is completely different. I realised that if I wanted to get the EVEC, I couldn't use it as a like straight up work planner. I can definitely have it for elements of work. And my idea is I have a separate work planner that I leave at work, and that anything I have to go and do at home, I put into my EVEC, my cousin. So, and the stuff that'll be in that, I'd be able to do on camera. It'd be just like tasks. It wouldn't have any confidential information. So I needed a work planner. And I happened to be in Home Bargains the other day and I saw this teacher planner, and I'd heard of these before. Someone at work had them last year, and I've had big teacher planners like this before. Like super similar, but nowhere near as good. This was £5 and it's absolutely massive, and it's more perfect than any other planner I've bought for work ever. So I'll just have a little flick through for you. So we've got term dates, staff duties, a week timetable, which is really good for me, and I think it's got the correct number of periods. Oh, it might be missing one, but that's fine because I can not include lunch. So there's those, exam dates, and then everything's undated. So I love that because I don't know if I'd fill it any year. I kind of dip out of using a planner for work because sometimes it's a lot quieter than some weeks than it is other weeks. There we go. Monthly overview, you very rarely get a monthly overview in a teacher planner. Very rarely. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen one. Now, there is the Positive Teacher Planner Company, whatever it is. I've never used them, so I can't justify that, but I have used another brand that I can't remember the name of, that's a very famous teacher planner brand here in the UK, and they don't have a monthly thing. Habit tracker? And I might do this as like work habits as well, rather than like non-work habits. Birthdays. I don't really track student birthdays because I teach 16 plus. It's not like in a primary school. This is the weekly planner, and it has the exact amount of periods that I need. I think there's 7, which is brilliant because usually you've got to like order a specific amount of periods for it to work. I didn't even check that when I bought it. I just bought it because I saw it was £5 and it was a big teacher planner and it was kind of spot on. And there's loads of them as well. And then you have lesson planner, seating plan. I don't really do seating plans, but if I did want to, and I have done them previously. Registers. I like to use these for tracking grades and stuff, but I think there's a separate grade tracker, which is brilliant. And then there's tons of these lesson planners. And these are really good because you could just rip them out or you could photocopy them. So we've got them. Again, my last plan I didn't have that. It was just like the weekly spread and that was it. There we go, space to track marks. And so I could put like the names and then our learning objectives at the top. Feedback sheets, this is brilliant. So I could write my feedback, photocopy it, give it to the student. And there's a massive notes section at the back that has a space for meeting notes and actions. I really liked this. Sorry if it's just gone dark, by the way. Loads of to-do list space. Like, this is insane. Tons. Notes space. The back. And then there's like a reflection area. Don't know how much I'll use that, but it's there. Self-evaluation. And then, obviously, everyone's favourite bit. Stickers. My students love stickers, so they will love this. But yeah. Oh, there's a results day one, that's good. Wow, that's really cool. Didn't even see them. So yeah, I've got a planner for work. You will probably never see this planner ever again. Once it's at work, it's going to stay there because this is big. I don't want to be carrying that back and forth. Also, something else that's really satisfying is that unintentionally my avec will match, which I think is pretty slay. So yeah, that is an update. So we're going to have, going forward, this will be at work, you won't ever see this. And I'll have my avec to go alongside it. But as it still stands, I'm still working in these two and still continuing to fill these up until my avec arrives, hopefully next week. And I'm really hope it's before I go back to work. I think it's going to be the day after I go back to work. But that's fine. I have a slow couple of days when I first go back. I am going back a little bit earlier so I can kind of like ease into it. So I'll have the weekend, next weekend, to work in my avec. And I will film plenty of it because it's going to give me a lot of things to content. Nope. It's going to give me a lot of content to film, which is good because I have been running out of ideas. I've been given lots of ideas, but I don't want to do like sit down with it. I don't want to have to put the camera like on me. I like doing my hands. I like just showing hands, that's fun. I don't mind like if I'm in a vlog or something, that's different, but I think talking in front of a camera is really hard because it's like almost like making eye contact with somebody, which I don't like doing. But yeah, that is the system. Have I missed anything? I did make a little list about things to talk about. Planner and journal update, plans for next planner, popping each goes in the back, and changes to how I use the planner. I think that's everything, hopefully. If not, I will talk about it in a future video because I'm already late posting this one, so I just want to get it edited and up, and then I'll be happy. But yes, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm very excited to be bringing you some more like journaling and planning content going forwards. And hopefully I'll be able to do some like proper journal with me. I have been like thinking about doing it in this book, but a lot of the time I'm journaling in bed. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Either way, it was good to sit down and do this, and I shall see you in the next video. I'm probably going to start filming videos on the weekend because obviously I'm going back to work soon. So they will probably be filmed on a Saturday and then edited and then posted on the Sunday. That's the idea. Maybe not, maybe it'll go into the Monday, but we'll see. Not that anybody cares, I've got like 12 subscribers, but thank you to those like 12 people that have subscribed, it means a lot. Either way, I will see you in the next video. Bye!